Cornflower. My last name is Cornflower, and my buddy's father, who's a waterman, he's passed now, but he was working one day, and his son called him and asked how to get a hold of me, Dave Cornflower. And his father misheard him and said Dave Cornflower. Well, the next day he gets on the radio and asked, "Well, anybody know Cornflower?" And it pretty much stuck. Everybody said, "Oh yeah, there's Cornflower." I had no clue what they were talking about.
Do you enjoy doing this?
Yeah, I've been doing it for probably the last 10 or 12 years. Since they started showing up in good numbers. Started out catching them, you caught a lot of 10 to 15 pounders, and now over the last 5 years we're seeing them as big as 65, 70 pounds. So, and I mean in good numbers too, where I talked to people out on the Ohio River and all that, and they said they ain't got numbers of the big ones like that.
Yeah.
So,
but what was it about blue catfish? Was it something you went out one day when you were younger and you pulled up this fish? What kind of magic was it that
we always catfished, maybe channel cats. You get a 10 to 12 pound channel cat, you had a giant. So we're out here, we yellow perch fishing one year, and we had snagged the shad reeling in. And I said, "Man, keep that shad, I want to cut it up and try for these blue cats. They're supposed to be in here." They're like, "Whatever." So the shad sat in the boat all day. Well, before we got ready to leave, we were getting ready to throw it back over, and I said, No, I'll cut it up. Well, I had a little perch rod. Cut a chunk of shad, it hit the water, and the rod bent over, and the line snapped. I was like, damn, that was something big. And, yeah, so now everybody's grabbing for a piece of shad, Before you know it, was the only shad we had.
Right.
We ended up landing a 26-pound blue cat that day on a little rod with 6-pound test.
Is that right?
Yeah, that hooked us right then. And then we went out and bought all bigger rods, bigger gear, and we drove around with that fish on ice for a week, showing everybody in Dorchester County, look at this 26-pound catfish. You ever seen anyone this big? And yeah, right then I was hooked.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
What do you say, like 10 pounds?
I'm going to say 10, 12 pounds.
All right. What we got here is the blue catfish, Ictalurus furcatus, originally from the Mississippi Midwest area, also down deep south. But since then they've been introduced around the country, and now they've ended up here in the Chesapeake Bay. Some main characteristics of these catfish are they got whiskers just like other catfish. That's why they're called catfish. And their whiskers are they don't sting like some people think they sting. They don't sting. That's why I'm able to touch them no problem here. But their whiskers are coated in taste buds. And also their whole body is covered in taste buds, but they're extra concentrated in their whiskers. So the way these things feed is they have the best sense of taste of any vertebrate animal. They wiggle their whiskers around trying to find prey. They detect the sense of some some chemicals that they taste, and then they will find the chemicals, follow the stream of chemicals up to wherever's releasing those chemicals, whether it's a fresh fish or a dead bait on a hook, and then they'll eat them. They also got a really great sense of smell as well. They also have these defensive spines. So they have one spine on the pectoral fin right here, and they got these two spines on the pectoral fins. Sorry, this is dorsal fin if I said pectoral fin. These two spines right here, they have barbs on their sides, and there's also barbs up here. But these ones, the pectoral fin spines, actually will wear down over time. They never get sharper, they can never resharpen. So when they're really small, these hooks, these spines will be super razor sharp, hypodermic needle sharp, and that's because they have some venom in them. They use that venom as it's a mild bee sting like venom, and they use it as defense. If you're really small but you got these pointy venomous spines, less things are going to eat you or have a more difficult time eating you. But as you get bigger, their spines dull out, and you don't have to worry about it. See, I'm touching it; it's not a problem. If let's say it was flopping around, and I try to grab it, then maybe it'd be more likely to hit my hand. But their dorsal fin spine seems to stay sharper overall because they're not bumping into the ground like these ones. They'll be on the ground, bumping around, maybe digging in the mud, and that helps wear down those spines more quickly than this one up here. And you can see their teeth here. They have pretty generalist teeth. So you can see, if I can let this guy open his mouth, they're just kind of fine teeth that are like sandpaper, good for gripping, good for crushing small clams, things like that, grinding vegetation, but they can also grab things whole and eat those. Ooh, let me get my thumb back when he lets me have my thumb back. There we go. You can really see the stridulation there, and that's where it's rubbing its pectoral fin spines, these spines right here against the base, and you can see it kind of vibrates as it goes, and that's called stridulation. And so it's making that sound by rubbing its spine against its pectoral girdle against the bones on the inside, and that's what makes the noise. It's nothing like with a swim bladder like some other fish like drum do. It's just with their spines.
Communicate.
Exactly.
Now is that noise scare stuff, or is it?
Right there, in this situation, it's a distress noise. Like both trying to like, I'm making a noise, I'm weirding you out, like get away from me. Yeah. But also it's a little bit to maybe warn other catfish around, like something bad's going on. But I think it's a little of both.
So you think there's a potential market for these things?
Absolutely. The thing that's screwing a lot of people up is the FDA inspection.
Yeah.
You got to have blue cat inspected.
Yeah.
By the FDA if you process it. But yet the rockfish, the white perch, and the other fish out of the bay don't have to be inspected.
Interesting.
Well, the catfish farms play a role.
Right.
South, they couldn't get rid of their fish because our population of blue cats have become so prevalent up here. The wild market can handle, you can get a lot of them on it now.
Right.
Where before the catfish farms were selling all their catfish.
Yeah.
But now that we're catching loads up here, they're losing the catfish farm business. So they passed that law from a southern senator to make it so we have trouble selling our catfish.
Oh.
What is it about these blue catfish that you really like? What fascinates you? Like, why do you fish for these things?
It's just amazing to me that here we fish these rivers all our life, and you ain't never had anything that big other than stripers in the spring, which you can't keep them. But these, there's no limit, there's no size, there's no rules. You can keep 100 of them if you want. Other than snakeheads, there's not many other fish that you can do that with that don't have catch limits and restrictions. These are unrestricted totally, and they're fun to catch. I mean, how can a 40-pound fish not be fun to catch? I guess if you don't like fishing, but yeah, they're just, and the sheer numbers of them. I mean, it ain't nothing to go and catch 500-600 pounds on hook and line in a given day. I mean, and you can do it recreational too, Just a matter of having the commercial license to be able to sell the fish, but it's definitely different. Something to do in the winter, Cold out. That's the thing about blue cats. It can be frigid out. No other fish are biting. You can catch a blue cat.
So if you were to take all of the life and take it all on net, including the plankton and the plants, 70% of all that by weight is catfish. And so if we're seeing them eating blue crabs, we're seeing them eating white perch, turtles, ducks, striped bass, alewives, you name it, and that 70% of the biomass is eating everything because they'll eat anything to get their mouths around, it's definitely going to be a problem. And that's probably why we're seeing less crab in some tributaries, less perch, less striped bass even.
We're the ones that pay for it because they close the season on crabs on us. They close the season on herring, which the herring, every blue cat I dissected last year, 6 to 7 pound ones had 6 to 7 herring this big in their belly. All roe herring. They put laws on us 20 years ago. We can't take herring. And that's basically why I'm blue cat now, is because from now to about 1st of March, I could be herring fishing if it was still open and making just as much money off the herring, bro, and selling them for bait. But they closed it
Right.
because of over commercial fishing,
Yeah.
which I don't think it really had anything to do with commercial fishing.
What do you think it had to do with?
With the blue cat feed, all the herring that are coming up to spawn. You're not getting the numbers of herring spawning no more because you got 100 million tons of fish
Right.
eat every day. I've baked it and gave it to people, and they told me it was the best rockfish they ever had. And that's no lie. And I was like, it's catfish. And they're, "Hey, catfish? I've ate catfish my whole life." I said, "I'm telling you, that's catfish."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here, I got. So yeah, a lot of people think these are muddy bottom feeders that taste gross or taste like mud, but these things are eating. Well, first, 2 points on that. First, crabs are bottom feeders, and they eat nothing but mud and detritus and scavenge things, and they taste good, so that doesn't matter. Second, these things are eating shad, they're eating perch, they're eating even ducks off the surface. You're not a bottom feeder if you're eating a duck. And so they're eating all these things that we like to eat. So unlike some other species of catfish, blue catfish are delicious. They're active predators, eating things in the middle of the water column, swimming around in the middle of the water column, eating delicious fish.
Man, that's a big one. Oh.
There we go. My phone's on the ground, so just watch out for it. I didn't know what to do with it because I was just rushed. There we go. Right away, like second hit of the water.
Why are you reeling this thing in?
Man,
Yeah.
slipping the drag. You got
No,
nice.
keep them.
Sorry about that.
Keep them. You saw it.
It was just right in front of me. Oh, that's
God.
a good one.
This might be your personal best.
Yeah. Is there much structure down to the
Yeah,
right?
a lot of it.
So I should pull it to the left a little bit? Or just kind of wherever it goes? Should I tighten this drag a little? That's going to be my PR on yeah, I was like, it's a little. Trying to pull it over, whatever it may be.
That was like instantaneously, wasn't it?
Second, I was like, I just see this thing doubling over, like somebody's got to grab that rod. Yeah, next. Just don't want to step on that. Yeah, not as big as it looks from a distance. Oh, that's good. That's good. There we go.
That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. That's bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fat belly on there too. You got a scale on here?
I do not.
Oh, damn it! How big do you think that one is? Very heavy. That's a fat belly on there.
He's 28 pounds.
28 pounds? All right, that's my personal record, blue cat. There we go.
The bar's probably best.
Hit over the.
He won't.
There we go. There we go. These are invasive, and the ones aren't causing a problem in a fish tank.
Yeah.
They're causing problems out here in places like here. So I encourage people, go out. If you see it on the menus, get wild caught blue catfish, especially from the Chesapeake Bay. It's the most sustainable seafood choice you can make, because if you were to leave it in the water, that's less sustainable than you were to go out there and catch it and eat it, because it's eating other native things like the crabs, the white perch, the striped bass, wood ducks, turtles, you name it. So, eat catfish.